Okay, welcome this morning, Tuesday, June 24th, the Old Webster Special Business District Commission Advisory Center, etc. Call to order. We have no visitors this morning, so we will move on to bullet point number 3. Did you all get a chance to receive minutes this month? A chance to pour through those? Entertain a motion to approve. Brian Cooper. Yeah. All approved? Aye. Any opposed? Questions? Okay, thank you. All right, moving on to old business. First up is the Old Webster Street Dance. For those who were out there, I think it was another great event. Joe Rath, Dan Warner did a lot of the heavy lifting to get going, and I think it turned out very good. I was unaware of any incidents. We actually had, I don't think Joe's not on, right? There are no visitors. Interestingly enough, we had a fairly large police presence, so it's more than typical. It was nice. No incidents. There haven't been any in the past. So it was another good event.
How was the attendance with the heat? I had my daughter's graduation party that day. So
I was actually surprised the attendance was as strong as it really ever.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Now, at the beginning, early on, it was pretty light.
Yeah.
The bulk of the crowd was right between called 7 and 8:30.
Yeah. That's what.
Oh yeah, I was kind of surprised. It was still a solid crowd.
Yeah,
Frank, your take?
it was interesting. Yeah, I mean, it was. We were anticipating a lighter crowd, not the 4,000 that Dan had talked to the police about. It was more of, I think, the 2,500-ish in that neighborhood. We were prepared for that number of people because we were worried that the heat wave was going to keep people away. Less children than we've seen in the past, which was different. There's a lot of adults. I mean, a lot of people enjoying beverages, so that was good. Yeah, it was overall was a great. Everything worked well, and it did cool off. The breeze was good. It just kept blowing down Lockwood.
Yeah, once the sun
once
got
that's
down below the building.
Yeah,
Pretty nice. Huh?
it's all right.
It's good. And actually, special thanks to James Carlton, State Farm. He was the title sponsor. It happened, so it was good. Good. Any other comments or curiosities on that one? Moving on, rooftop lighting updates.
I really don't have much of an update other than same as last time. They're still finishing up in Old Orchard. They are planning to get to Old Webster and have everything done before holiday season rolls in. So all those lights will be up and running before mid-fall. But that's not much of an update, but that's what I have from the vendor.
Thank you on that. Questions? Okay. Moving on, parking signs.
Parking sign update. We have finally been able to get one of the signs cleaned off, no residue. The company that we had talked with a long time ago about removing the decals from the signage. They do not want to remove the decals from the sign. They don't do that kind of work anymore, they said. So we removed it ourselves, which took a lot of work.
Ourselves meaning the city or you personally?
I had my people do it.
Okay.
And it's a lot of work.
Did you have to scrape them off or apply any chemical or what? Everything.
Yeah, we used everything. And then once you got the sticker off, like razor blade it and then glue on to get it perfectly clean. It took about 2 hours to get one sticker off, and that was with aerosol and gel stripper and stuff.
On both sides of it or just one side?
Both sides.
Is it a piece of sheet metal?
It's aluminum.
Mhm.
A1 signs.
A1 Signs, they were the company that came in the lowest.
Okay.
And I don't have any of that paperwork with me. But, because I know I was looking into both the cleaning off and just brand new signs altogether.
Right.
So I don't know what their quote was too, if we were gonna just clean them off.
Yeah. Laura deals with sign crafters, and sign crafters is just making signs for other people now.
Okay.
They said to talk to A1, and said the
Mhm,
blanks are about $80 a blank, like a blank sign.
So $80 just for the piece of,
That's, yeah, they won't put that in a quote, but the aluminum is about $80 is what
How
they
thick is
said.
it?
I think it's like an eighth. I haven't measured, like,
yeah, I understand.
I brought it to them and I was like, sign, need made,
Right.
and they're like, we don't do that. So,
If you want, I can get a hold of them again. And are we planning on getting new signs made instead of
we
them
may
taking
need
them
to,
off?
we'll need to at least get a quote.
Okay, I'll go back and look to see, you know, what it was, what it costs to get them cleaned off and have them do it versus getting a brand new sign.
Okay.
And I'll check all that out and then I can get a hold of them and you know, look on time, see how long it would take and things like that. So the price was very close to your, what the numbers you
Right.
had originally. So it's not that big of a difference as far as that goes.
Right, I would think the cleaning, so labor intensive that it would be.
Mhm.
Scott, I don't know if you know this, but does the city have, like, when the city makes signs, do you have blank sheet or blank aluminum or?
We buy them whatever size,
Yeah.
you know, you're looking for,
Right.
whether that's stop sign or street sign or
Just-
whatever.
yeah,
We
that's-
buy those blanks. I
Okay.
don't know what they call.
But you do
per
buy
blank.
blanks, per
Yeah.
se, okay.
Yeah. And these are custom,
Yeah,
they're
those are
they're not
custom.
out of a catalog.
Yeah.
Well, I know they're
They're-
round, right, exactly.
Well, they're not even round, they're like ovalish.
They're oval, they're a little,
Yeah,
little.
and they're not even a real oval, it's like a round oval, like. It's all
Round
custom.
oval, eggish.
We do have, Laura has someone that does metal work and signage that may be able to cut them, so she's back in the office now for knee replacement, so we'll have more information. She's on case as well.
Okay. Well, I'll definitely look into it.
Yeah,
I can
just have
text
it-
you and I can
okay.
hold you,
Yeah,
you know.
You and I and Laura
see
need to
what-
probably sit down and say, hey,
Okay.
From a funding perspective, when do we find out what the city council, whether I think we made some requests
Yeah,
last month prior.
whenever we gave our talk, I guess that was in May.
Budget just approved a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
So we should be receiving some, is that part of your budget request?
It was.
Yeah, it was part of the budget
Should be
request.
getting something real soon.
Okay.
Is that about right, Scott?
Yeah, I don't recall anything out of your all's budget getting pulled. I'd have to go back and check for sure, but
I think we requested some extra funding,
Yeah.
and very
We need
least
to find
just
out.
authorization to pull it from our reserves.
right, well, that's the thing is, did we take it from the reserves or? And then there was a question about the reserve level.
The amount.
Right,
what
our
we had.
reserve level, so when I was in the meeting with the council, the mayor questioned me on our reserve level being so high and why we needed the city to pitch in. And I told her at that particular time that I had no idea our reserve level was up there. I mean, we've been dwindling down our reserves over the last couple of years, and we just hadn't had an update in a while.
I thought we kind of, that when we were doing the budget and all that, I thought there was a number thrown out that was like maybe 15 or 10, 15 or so. It was somewhere like around there, I thought. at the
What's in
time.
our reserve?
Our reserves, yeah, I thought we had something like that.
Yeah, Mayor Arnold said it was 80 in
See,
that
that's
meeting,
a
and
lot.
I think our reserves were higher than what you were saying,
Okay,
but I don't think they were at 80.
okay.
And so.
Okay.
No.
I do know that was one of the criteria we looked at in approving budgets. Okay, they got a healthy reserve. Let them take it out of reserve
Mhm.
and go.
Okay.
Should be receiving, I would say, something in the next month. Okay. Since the budget is approved.
Right.
So hopefully
So I
by
guess
next
where the
month,
money comes from.
yeah, hopefully by
hopefully
next
the city
month we'll
can-
have the funding and actually move forward. This is. Answers that options. That'd be good. Anything else, anything else on that? Okay. All right. Frank, Randy, I'll let you know once I hear on the funding piece.
Okay.
Then I'll move on to the district signs, same deal,
Same deal.
same deal, okay.
I don't understand what I should write there.
Refer to last month.
Yeah.
You're referring to last month's
Yes.
update. Thank you.
No new update.
Did-
We're really
New sign,
waiting on
did
funding
you
as well.
buy- Do you know the new sign?
Are we waiting on funding on that as well? Related?
We're waiting on some pricing on it.
Okay.
And then also, what are we gonna do with the other side? So Laura will have something she promises for the next meeting.
Okay.
And if we get anything sooner, we'll get it to Fran, have it circulated and put into record. That way we can not have to sit here and debate about it
Good.
in the meeting.
All right, excellent. On to commission vacancies. I spoke with TJ Redmond yesterday. He is on board, but he's had some other things he's been chasing down, so hopefully next month we'll see him out here.
Did you do an application and all that yet?
I don't know. Probably not.
Just,
Just kind of keep leaning on him.
yeah,
Swears he's gonna join. Any other comments on vacancies? Okay. New business. So, we have on here a district revenue update. So Emerson. You might give that to
Scott.
Scott, okay.
So I just ran your report, and you know what, I should have put last year's on here too at this time. You're currently sitting with about $78,000 in the account, 43,000 on real estate taxes and 32,000 on business licenses. Estimate for the fiscal year in business licenses was 40,000, and the actual amount right now collected has been 32,700. So we're getting close. I'm not exactly sure how many are outstanding from the ones that we typically get coming in on those.
I brought this up before, because I still have not paid, and I should get out there and do it when I leave, 23 and 24. And I did not realize I not paid 23, but I've paid for this year's.
Mhm.
Have we seen more come in, do you know, from prior years? This year because of, is that,
Let me run the report again because I'll pull last year's data. I don't know why I did that when I just read.
And then if it does come in, say prior years, does that go into this year's fund?
yeah,
It
that's,
does.
yeah.
Okay.
So, whenever funds are collected, they get put into that year's amount because last year's over with. We've already
Yeah.
closed the books on it.
I
So,
didn't know if we owed the money to.
no, I mean, it's, I don't know if restricted is the right word, but it's
Yeah.
money for your district. So it stays in your district. So the books are closed for last year. So we'll go in this year. Same as if someone pays July 5th, it's going to go in next year's budget because our new budget starts on July 1st. So, let me rerun this report real quick and then I will.
Scott's running that report, these were my items, as the resolution of the last meeting, especially for those, businesses that need a liquor license. No liquor license, we don't pay your business fees.
I hope, right, yeah, that sounds, yeah.
That's a, for
I
those
know you
that-
brought it up.
I brought it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one way to collect from those
So.
restaurant tax.
So I just want,
about 30, 35. I don't know who they hadn't paid, but
How many liquor licenses are there in Webster?
I don't know. I just looked at it the other day. That need to apply. I want to say it's about 30 or 35 businesses.
Is there a limit that there can be or?
Really, that's a lot.
No,
I
no
mean,
limit,
from
just,
Oh,
like all of Webster, like
Yeah,
grocery stores, liquor stores, gas stations.
I think the last liquor license we approved, not counting the church, whatever functions, was the new bar on, yeah, off of- yeah.
All right, I got the report up. So your business licenses, 23 fiscal year, which was, July of 22 through June of 23. The actual amount was just under 25,000. 24 actual was 22,000. 25 actual is 32,700. So definitely trending up 10 grand, a little more than 10 grand over last year's. It is budgeted for 40,000. So a little below the budget level
and we're
for this year.
running out of time to
But
get,
some of those, we still got a couple weeks to go, and that's what's been input in the system. So there could be a check sitting downstairs that hadn't been allocated into this fund yet, or something like that too. And then real estate taxes, 23 was 43,000, 24,000, 24 was 46,000, and 25 was 43,000. And those real estate taxes do run late. We get those from the county, and those are usually, at least a quarter behind when they actually come in. And we don't collect those; those all come off assessed values and whatnot. So
Scott, do you have the number for business licenses for 21 and 22?
I do.
I could run it, but if you got a handy
Yeah,
right
right
there,
21 was 37,800, and 2022 was 49,800.
49?
49.
I have a feeling that that number got inflated because of the trickle down. Like,
2020.
people didn't pay in 2020.
Yeah.
Because there's nobody in the offices.
Right,
I don't have 2020's number.
And that's how that one got.
So Gregory gave us.
Clearly, there was a drop in 23 and 24.
But it had been pretty steady, 42. I mean, I can.
Up to that.
Yeah, for quite a while. And, in 2018 and 19, if it was 42, a lot more vacancies in Old Webster than there are now. Is Gregory still trying to sort out who is paid and not paid? He came in here in February and gave us a talk, and, he tiptoeing around some things. I think Mayor Arnold was in here.
I know he's done a lion's share of work on that. I don't know exactly how many he's still hunting down to
Okay.
get paid. I do know that there are still several outstanding, both business licenses and sales taxes across town that aren't even getting submitted to the state and then coming back to us as well. So there are certainly some.
And I guess,
business
I guess,
around.
if they're delinquent on their sales tax, because if you're delinquent on any tax, I can't get a business license. Like, there could be one, I could be off $1 from some weird discrepancy that I didn't even know about. Then I go dig through everything and find out why that is and pay my $2 to the
Yep.
state and, okay.
The state eventually will send the city notices that we have to cancel business licenses if an owner is not paying their sales tax or whatever. So it does happen. Usually that prompts people to get their stuff paid pretty quick, but
Right.
not all.
But again, it's no different than your car license plate tags. It's like, I don't have to have insurance if I don't need to go to the DMV to pay my taxes on my car. So
You get caught, right? Right. So I'd say the numbers are trending up for you all. Not quite back up to the full amount, but it is certainly getting better. So the work that Gregory's
Something
doing
positive.
is paying off. Yeah.
Well, the 78,000 though, that's just what we have in our account. That's not our reserves, because we still have to fund our whole budget this year,
Right,
which
right.
is still a lot. I mean, that's not that great.
Yeah,
That's
this barely covers our regular.
right.
In fact, I don't think it does.
Right. So.
Anything else on that, Scott? Okay, thank you. I did receive, I know it's not on the agenda, but just as a heads up, to everybody. I did receive from Dr. Peoples' office last couple of days that they are implementing a boards and commissions grant notice form. So this is just really a heads up, and my understanding is, Scott, you may have more info on it, but my understanding is that if us as a commission or even you or other folks throughout the community, if you are interested in pursuing a grant for city-related activities, the city wants you to coordinate it through them so that it stays with the mission of the city. And if you need any resources, they can coordinate that as well. So just something to be aware of. I don't think that this commission has pursued any grants, at least not in my tenure. Would you be aware of it?
Yeah, not in your tenure, for
Any
sure.
comments on that, Scott?
Yeah, so if there was something that popped up, I don't know, say a street lighting grant from Ameren or somebody like that, you know, and you guys wanted to pursue that. The form is there just so we make sure that we have matching funds available, that there's staff time available to do it. Because a lot of times we go looking for these grants, and depending on the dollar amounts, I mean, there's several grants where I won't do anymore because they're $10,000, but it takes $10,000 worth of staff time to put it together and track it and report on it. It's not worth the effort. If it's $250,000, sign us up. We're ready to go. So that's kind of what it is. It's making sure that it fits in with staff resources, and we got cost share money available because some of them are 70-30, some of them are 50-50 grants or whatever. So just keeping those in line, making one smooth workflow for all the boards and commissions.
Very good. Excellent. Tim, EDC?
So we have a restaurant retail collaboration meeting every month. It's first Tuesday of every month. So that'll be July 1st. It's basically just a subgroup to go over other ways that we can incorporate all of Webster on different activities. So that'll be the first at 9 a.m. and it is always at the Annex, first Tuesday of every month. The BDC is doing happy hours with the Chamber of Commerce. That'll be August 14th. We do not have a location yet, but our meeting is Thursday, so I'll assume that I will hear where it will be on Thursday. And September 18th, we will be doing another one of our coffees, but back at the rec center. So hopefully we'll have a much better turnout than we had last time when we couldn't get the rec center, and we will book it there from here on out.
Good. Questions for Tim? Okay. City update. So Scott or?
Community Days is next week. So we are gearing up for that. Carnival down at the seminary, 2nd through the 5th. Parade on the 4th, morning of the 4th, and fireworks on the evening of the 4th. We are looking for a couple parade judges. If anybody is interested in being in the parade, riding on a truck for the first portion of the parade, and then judging all the other floats and activities that come in. If you're interested, let myself or Director James Boyd, Parks and Rec, know. Be happy to have you. I know he is still looking for a couple there. It's a pretty fun little deal. Budget was passed, so we're getting ready to kick into the new fiscal year starting next week. So
About how many floats are in the parade this year?
just under 60 have signed up and registered. We have the safety meetings on Thursday night and Saturday morning. So typically we lose 2 or 4 that don't show up to one of those meetings. So about the same as last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I Bloody Marys and be a judge?
Can you what?
Have Bloody Marys?
Absolutely. Oh, sure.
Okay.
Wait, will you,
I will.
will you share?
Absolutely. Oh my God. Yes. Yes.
Unfortunately, I'll be afterwards.
Happy birthday, America.
I probably shouldn't partake to laughter.
And there's a run this year, is that right?
There is not a run this year. I'm. Oh, thank you.
When it was to make sure my shop was ready for
So was this, did it get canceled?
Yeah, so I've been pushing for this run for several years. I'm not a runner. But I just thought it would be the coolest thing. I know there's a couple run clubs that try to run the parade route already, and to be able to run in front of 10,000 people lined up and down the parade, I thought would be super cool. So I don't know if folks just didn't want to do it. It was too costly. I think the time really stinks. Most runners want to get out and run, especially in July at 7 a.m. You know, they don't want to run at 9:30 when it might be 90 degrees already. But we only ended up getting about 40 registrations for it. And at that number, it wasn't worth the angst of closing all the streets down earlier for everybody on the parade route to get all their friends and family to their houses and disrupt traffic flow. So unfortunately, we had to pull the plug on it. But
Next year.
we're debating trying it again next year. I hate failing twice in a row, but some other people that are more positive than me right now about it are, let's do it again next year. Let's advertise it better. Let's change something up. So
What do you think the number of signups needs to be to make it? Do you just want
we're going to cap it at 400 for the first year because we wanted to be able to manage it and maintain it. 100 was our break even for it, so at 44 or something like that as of Monday last week. The other thing is we were trying to buy T-shirts for everyone, so that was one of the deals. You got to be able to order the stock and get them screen printed and everything in time. So maybe we look at doing a metal.
I could have them done by tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean,
So just so you're aware, you don't have to leave.
you don't
Webster.
have to. Yeah.
You don't have to leave Webster. You can stick
Yeah.
right here in Webster.
Yeah.
Take care of everything.
So
Was
that
that the start, at the start of the parade line?
yeah,
So but people would be setting up for the parade at the same time too, right?
so it would be just in front of the parade, just on the other side of the libraries where it would have started.
Okay,
It
right,
would have
okay.
run up Lockwood, Gore, Big Bend, back down to Elm, Gore, Lockwood, and finish it kind of in front of not Schnucks, but the physical therapy practices right next to
that's
Schnucks.
just-
So it would have run on the parade route, the
Gotcha,
first
gotcha.
half of it. But yeah, we were going to kick off at 9:30, and it would have been done by, the winners would have been done by 9:45. Losers would have been done. Not losers. That's why we're not having it. People like me, calling out people like people like me would have not finished at all.
None of those 40 people had a good enough run time for you to allow them in.
That's
Fast enough, you want to fast run.
So maybe next year.
What time does the parade start?
Parade kicks off at 10. Fireworks kick off at 9:15.
And Scott, and so back to your run thing just for a second. When did you guys decide to do this run? And was it kind of late in the game a little bit?
Probably February.
Okay.
And we started advertising mid-March.
Okay.
Um,
All right.
So it
plenty
was-
of time.
it was out there for 8-10 weeks.
Okay, yeah.
I never knew anything about it.
See, and that's exactly what I was going to say is,
I know,
I mean,
so
I sit on numerous boards here, president of the trade, and this is the first time I have heard about it. And so, probably need to figure out how you
Yeah.
do things, because if I haven't even heard about it, not again, then I would be out there running it. But, if I haven't heard about it, I can't spread the word to a lot of people I know that do run and all of that.
We sent it out to our list of people that participate in the Webster Kirkwood Turkey Day Run,
Mhm.
which is about 20,000 emails,
Yeah.
and even sent it out to those 20,000 runners. We still only got.
I mean, what's your, how many emails do you have? I mean, just send it to the bike riders. I mean, I would think a lot of them run as well too.
No.
No?
Okay.
Never mind. One does.
Yeah.
Well, he could have been a 45.
Generally not very smart. He just generally just does a marathon without any training.
I will say, I did actually see an email 2 weeks ago or so, and that was the first I heard about it. Now, mine, I was like, oh, that'd be really cool, but me and the family, we always do a lot for the parade, and I thought, that time frame, that's too short. I don't want to do the run and then have to shower and clean.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking people would just run and then run back to their party house, but maybe I'm also incorrect in that because you want to go home and shower and not feel like a dirt ball for the next 2 hours. Yeah. Yeah. So
And I would do it, but I host people at the shop, so I.
Yeah, and that's,
all good info. Thanks for
appreciate
that.
that support.
Yeah.
I do think that maybe, and this is old school stuff, which doesn't always apply nowadays, but that email list was very impressive, and I'm not, that's why I'm shocked you didn't get more, but. You know, flyers of some local businesses, which would then. Just alert people to start, you know, saying it a little bit more, you know, not a million, but.
Webster Kirkwood Times also does a good job, if nothing else, of getting people to the event.
Right.
Good.
I just got a couple of things on the city updates. Like Scott mentioned that the budget was passed for next year. I'm sure you heard that we're at a 1.2 million deficit. That's just going into the year. So we have all of next year, this year, the rest of this year to try to bring more revenue and decrease expenses. So over time, that number's probably going to decrease. Our projections for revenue was on the conservative side. And that's because we looked at the projection of expenses. It was on the conservative side. So hopefully it's going to be in a better position when this time next year come around. So it didn't worry me any, you know, and so this, I'm sure you saw letters in the paper that cities 1.3 in a hole. We're not there yet. You know, we got a chance to try to make it up. So we had a conversation about ways to increase the revenue, and one of those revenue discussions was taxes. And all of a sudden, the city is raising our taxes. That was not the truth. There's just conversation, just bringing everything and putting it on the table. What we can do. So I mentioned about the liquor licenses and the business license, how we're tying those together. Also, went to coffee at the Chamber of Commerce, and the chamber is really growing. I mean, we had about 40 to 45 people at that coffee at time for dinner. So that was very impressive.
And Brentwood has now joined the Chamber of Commerce as well.
Yeah,
That's a new thing.
Yeah.
That Jerry Rosen is doing a just amazing job of bringing businesses into that.
Yeah. So that was really impressive. I was surprised of the number that was there. And I think that was it.
I have two questions if I can, which are kind of city update type things. One, the streetscape for Old Orchard and Crossroads. I mean, we've been hearing about these things forever, but nothing's being done. Do we have any idea when those things are starting?
County is in the design phase right now on those.
This one we had to give them oh shoot, I'm thinking the word now. Some kind of permission to do something on our land or something. That's got easement, thank you.
Yes,
I think we just approved that.
that's the
Meeting
next
for
phase
that.
for Crossroads.
Yeah.
Crossroads construction is slated for 2027.
Oh, so it's still a couple years away.
Easement could take a year. Getting,
And I would take a different topic, but Fran mentioned the easement. There's gonna be a lot of MSD work going on in the city, probably starting next year.
Great.
Yeah. Good.
Is that for flood? Or is that
I
just
think they just-
MSD in general?
They're just replacing pipes.
Okay.
You know, I know they got my yard all marked up, you know, where they're gonna put it in at, and then, my church, we just gave them easement to come straight through our property. You know, instead of cutting it, we're right there by Deer Creek, cutting over down, we just gonna come straight through our property, so they're still in the planning phase, but it's gonna. I talk to people every week. When are you gonna finish all this work, you know? You don't need a concrete in this hole if they're gonna come back and dig it back up, you know, and then you're gonna be complaining about that, so. So it's a lot of work that's gonna be done. And then the culvert for Elm and Kirkham, that's happening later this year or first next year?
Construction, I don't believe will start this year.
Yeah, I think it's next year.
Is that all MSD?
No, that's the
That's
city.
That's city with federal, grant money.
Okay.
So it's like a $1.1 or $2 million project. The feds are paying 73% of it, I think. But it'll close, Elm at Kirkham for a little bit of time, while they remove the old culvert, and put the new culvert in underneath the roadway there.
So it's
there'll
just
be
gonna be a new tunnel.
new tunnel underground, bigger, so it can have a bigger capacity,
Okay.
and flow smoother, so we don't get as much, backup.
And that's what happens, the water, just so much water goes through and it backs up and starts coming over the bridge, and that's how Kirkland is flooded.
And it comes in.
Yeah, that culvert that's there is so small, it's just can't get through, so. Now, I will say one more thing is that regardless of what you hear and read, Scott and his crew, they did an excellent job in opening up the water park.
Oh, yeah.
The aquatic center, so.
That was actually gonna be the next thing that I brought up.
You don't feel about it.
I do, but I also know that at the graduation party that I threw, I talked to numerous Webster residents that are coming back wanting their money back for a refund for the annual dues. And they're going to go to Crestwood because of, I guess we give free passes to certain people, and a lot of these people have kids that are lifeguards. There's lack of supervision for them, and I guess there are a ton of people that are smoking weed, that are smoking cigars, that are smoking, and it's so crowded because there's no limit of number. We're not counting how many people are coming in to the pool, and it is so crowded inside of there. I mean, it sounds like a dangerous situation to me. And you've got these teenage lifeguards that if something happens, because it's so crowded. But I mean, I've talked to probably 20 Webster residents that will not go to our own pool anymore. And so I don't know what the answer is. I just know this wasn't a single conversation that I had, and I happen to have a pool, so we don't go to the pool. And that's probably why things came off. And they brought it up to me that it must be nice to have a pool because we go Webster, but we're trying to get our money back because we want to go to Crestwood because and that's very sad when we've opened this beautiful aquatic center now here in Webster, and the Webster residents are not wanting to go to it at all. And I'm not looking for an answer. I'm just tossing out to you guys that there's an issue here. And I don't know if you guys are aware of it at all, but you guys are aware of it.
I understand that non-residents, they pay a non-resident rate of $15.
But I hear,
And they might be talking about the freestyle pool pass.
right, that there was
And that's
$18,000.
Those are dollars that's given by Webster residents.
Right.
To help those that can't afford to go to the pool.
Mhm.
And they could be non-residents as well.
Right.
And out of that money, they pay for those passes.
And I heard in the years past that it was $5,000 in general, give or take, that 2 years ago when we started doing this or whenever it was exactly, that non-Webster residents come, but this year was $18,000. And so my understanding is, and this is not coming from me, I have no idea, this is just third-hand stuff that people were telling me, is that you have them come and then the next day they bring their friends. One in particular is on Webster swim team. They will come back at 8 o'clock when the pool closes and still continue to be part of that, part of Webster Swim Club. But they do not want, they spend the day there every day. That's what they do. Mom and her 4 kids every day spend the day there, but they can't. She's like, done. I can't do it anymore. Because probably a lot of the free passes, because it quadrupled basically, and the number of free passes, you know, yeah, if it's a beautiful new swim park, why wouldn't you? And you call your friends and have them come. And again, these are non-Webster residents that are coming and applying for these $15 passes for the day, and they're there all day. Understandable, but it just sounds like this is an issue, and Webster residents, I'm just throwing out, are not happy about the situation.
Well, you have to think too, this is a brand new year. We got a brand new stand-up slide rule.
Mhm.
And I got to go see what that is. So I'm just saying there will be people from other municipalities. I know several of my friends from Maplewood, they're
Mhm.
coming here instead of going to the Maplewood, but they like that stand-up slide.
Right, no, it sounds great, but
And
but
two, that's gonna improve our income for the
Right, how's revenue?
for revenue.
revenue is great, but if it's not serving the Webster, if Webster grows,
You
residents
know, it's like
are wanting to not go there anymore.
everything when it's
I-
brand new
that-
and tiny is gonna be overrun by people no matter where they come from. Like,
I
I
feel
think
like
that's a growing pain that
And
restaurants, bars, they all get the same thing. Like you get
I
40%
feel that
more business than you normally would.
the money that was raised, and I know about it because I'm part of that fundraising, is somebody in Webster want to be inclusive of other communities
Sure.
to come in. We have an agreement with Glendale and Oakdale.
Oakland.
You know, where they're paying their resident come to the pool, they pay $6, and then the city makes up the difference for the 15. So it's just being more community inclusive, I guess, one of the things that we strive to do.
Is there something that can be done though to limit the number of out of Webster residents that can be in the pool area at one time? Is there any way to monitor that?
I would say it's labor intensive. Okay, I've already let in X amount, so you can't come in until somebody goes out. How will you identify those?
I don't know. I'm just saying,
Is there
I know,
Seat limit?
I know Webster
There is a
residents.
capacity, so the capacity limit's about 1,800 people per hour. That's the bather load on the pool.
Mhm.
And is that what it was before?
It's bigger than, it's actually a greater number than it was before. There's more space. There's more water volume than before, and there's more deck space than before. So both those increases. This weekend was crazy hot. It was crazy busy up there. We had 1,903 people on Sunday for the whole day. Last year, the same day, we had 1,107. So you had an almost double, not quite, 40% increase from year over year. But if you can have 1,800 an hour and we only had 1,900 for the whole day, between noon and 8,
Mhm.
you know, there is a perceived overcrowding, and it was crazy busy, but we weren't even close to capacity at any time. So,
And I think
we have talked about, and we have for years talked about resident only days, things of that nature.
I
It
actually
would
did
be
hear from a lady that, because of the crowd, and it could have been just because of this particular area, but there was a kid out there struggling. And the lifeguards could not see him or didn't see him, so she literally went over there and helped this kid and got him out because of the crowds. My son, he used to be a lifeguard. He didn't want to do it this year. He's like, I think it's just going to be too crazy. There's too many new things, and it's going to be kind of hectic, which you would expect. He was semi-smart in that, you know, but it is going to happen like that. I do think just crowd control as far as the numbers is important just for the safety of the people. That's the number one thing.
And I think just letting people know, like Scott, know that there are people smoking cigars and smoking anything, which is, we know, smoking at all.
where
And then-
if you go in the restrooms,
You know, and then
these
you just try to have a little bit more surveillance on that and then correct that when it needs to be.
Well, and
corrected, you know.
I'm glad to hear that you guys are aware
Oh, yeah.
of all these situations, but you know, the parents of the lifeguards that I speak of say that there's nobody there that's going and taking no supervision going to take care of any of these. It's not just in the restrooms, it's also just out out and about, and these teenage lifeguards aren't gonna, I mean, you can't expect them to do those type of things. So, yeah, I mean, it's a multi-level thing that I'm bringing up, and I'm glad to hear that you guys are aware.
So we've added
it.
full-time staff every day
Okay.
out there, even on weekends, all day long, Saturday and Sunday. We've got a full-time staff person that's working because it has been more crowded. We've added extra staff to our front desk area. We've added extra staff. Originally, we didn't staff the new turf area. We've now got a turf attendant that staffs that turf area to try to control a little bit of the rowdiness of the kids out there and just pick up trash. We've added more trash and bathroom staff on there. So all those things are happening. It is crazy busy. It is the newest, hottest thing in town.
Sure.
We anticipated it would be crazy busy this year. You know, and we're getting different things. The first week we had trouble with concessions. Our staff had trouble fixing enough food and figuring out how to do it. And then, you know, we made some changes and we haven't had excessive concession lines. You know, we are doing $5,000 worth of volume on, you know, $3 hot dogs. That's a lot. I mean, you guys who run restaurants, that's pretty good volume for a little tiny concession stand.
That was another complaint that I heard, that kids went up and ordered, and then their number was called, and they went to get their food, and other kids had gone and taken their food. I mean, concession stand took care of them, but it took another mom that weren't even these kids that went to go get their concessions to get involved with concessions to say that people are coming and just taking other people's food there. Again, I'm just the messenger here. I haven't even been there. I need to go in there and see it. I wanted to go see it. And obviously have a full pass to go there. So I mean, I need to go do it just I want to see it. But these are just the things that I have heard that I'm bringing to the city's attention.
I appreciate that. Understand it. You're not the only person that's brought those same concerns forward.
Probably not, but I do sit on these councils, so I'm going to bring it up, and I'll bring it up Thursday in our meeting there as well too. We have another city council member here, just so that I'm voicing it for the people that I talk to.
Appreciate it.
Very good. Anything else on the city? Excellent. Our next meeting is scheduled for 8 a.m. July 22nd. Make sure you have that on your calendar. And with that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
So, yeah, all approved. Aye. All right.